What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about the Chelsea v Brentford game, but more importantly, how Frank Lampard might be the worst manager in Premier League history. Because like I said, I wasn't planning on making any more game previews or reviews for the rest of the year because every game to me is pretty pointless. But somehow Frank Lampard has managed to turn a very bad Chelsea team under Graham Potter into the worst team in the league. Like this is by far the worst team in the league. There is no questions about it. And I'm starting to get extremely frustrated. Personally, I thought we should have just kept Graham Potter till the end of the season, or at least waited until there was a gap in play to get rid of him rather than sacking him like 2 days before a new game. Hey man, this Chelsea ownership, they're confused, bruv. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I've said it before. They are confused. You can't just blame managers and then you can't just blame players. You have to give them all equal blame. But today, Frank Lampard needs to hold a lot of blame for what happened yesterday, bruv. Brentford come into a game not winning in five or something. They had a really good season and then they kind of were starting to fall off. And of course, here comes Charity FC to give them a free 3 points. They didn't even try yesterday, Brentford. They just sat there, absorbed pressure, countered us twice and scored 2 goals. Frank Lampard may have set up the worst Chelsea team I've ever seen. I've seen some very bad Chelsea teams with very bad seasons, with injuries, with players you would never assume to play for Chelsea in those teams. That might have been the worst lineup I've ever seen in my life. Chelsea have struggled to score goals this season. I think we scored 30 Premier League goals. We got one of the better defences in the league still somehow, in terms of goals conceded at least. Yet my man plays no attackers. He plays Raheem Sterling and Conor Gallagher as a front two, who have a combined tally of like 5 goals this season. What a joke, bruv. What a joke. The man played about 7 midfielders in that team. And Golo Kante was playing as a right winger. At least he tried. But man was playing as a right winger. Like, Frank, what are you watching, bruv? What are you watching? The season's over, mate. Your reputation is ruined as it is. Why are you making it worse? Man somehow saved Everton last year just to get them in a worse position this year. Comes into Chelsea and he's 0-5. Man has lost 5 games in a row. 5 games in a row, scored 1 goal, and it was a deflection. Frank Lampard looks at the lack of goals Chelsea have scored this season and goes, yes, we need to play less attackers. That's the way we're going to score. We're going to set up at home to Brentford to get a 0-0. And of course, at corner, of all things, a corner. And somehow Azpilicueta still getting minutes in 2023. Shout out to my guy, Chelsea legend and all, but fucking A, bruv. Man is washed. Man is washed up, bruv. I'm surprised he can still run, to be honest. And of course, the ball deflects off him and goes in the goal. The players just don't care at this point. I've just got to question him. Like, what are you doing, brother? Frank Lampard, why are you picking Azpilicueta? Why are you picking Raheem Sterling? Why are you picking Conor Gallagher? Why are you picking Pulisic on the bench? Why is the stench of Ziyech still around the team, bruv? Like, this is why I got to ask. Why is Chukwuemeka not on the bench, bro? Madueke's not starting. Mudrik's not starting, bro. You're not the permanent manager, bruv. What are we trying to win? Like, these games don't mean anything to us. We can't move up the table. We can move down still. We'll probably end up finishing like 15th because Wolves and Palace are right behind us now. But, bro, the team selection, man. I could pick a better team than that. I just don't understand what's going through his head, bro. I mean, Frank Lampard, I always thought he was a championship level manager. Like, he could maybe go back to like a team in the championship and get him promoted or at least get him a decent season. Like, maybe he should go and manage like Coventry or some shit. But hey, man probably couldn't even manage in League One with the way he's going at this point. The team has not improved under him, and I see a lot of people saying, "Well, he's a legend. He was gonna spark a fire under the players." And I thought, well, maybe he could do that. Maybe that's an option. Like maybe they will be like, "Oh wow, Frank Lampard, a legend of the club." But knowing these players, I didn't believe it. I mean, I've seen these same players let down 5 different managers over the last 6 years, bro. I mean, some of these players let down Frank Lampard the first time, let alone letting him down a second time. You think players like Ziyech, Kovacic, Pulisic have changed in that time? Of course, Jorginho is no longer here. I would have included him in that rabble of players who just have let managers down. Azpilicueta, I mean, since Conte left, Azpilicueta's been shit. Let's be honest. Kepa's let multiple managers down. Like this isn't a thing where like players are gonna get rejuvenated. A leopard don't change its spots, as they say, brev. It's the same players at the end of the day. And at this point, whoever it is, it's looking like Pochettino's going to come in. Initially, I was a bit like, I'm not convinced, Tottenham guy. But at this point, I've looked more into it, and I think he'd be a decent manager for us. I think he could do a good job. I think he has something to prove. Man needs to be sitting in them stands against Arsenal, brev, and looking at those players. And those players need to know that they're playing for their future. And I think some of the players just know that they maybe have another move lined up. They can definitely get to a decent club. I mean, I think players like Kovacic, apparently City want him. Apparently Liverpool want him. So, he don't have to try. he's going to get a move regardless. I think someone like Sterling's another one who knows that he could probably go to a big club anyway. Like Real Madrid apparently wanted him. You know, Arsenal were interested in him last summer as well, and I'm sure like PSG or someone will take him. So it's just one of those, bruv. Like, I think players who aren't going to be here next year, they should be benched. They should be put in the reserves. We should play young players. Like, we Chelsea fans and even like managers, all the board, they've talked about it before under Abramovich as well. It's like, we want to bring through youth players as well. And then you get a perfect opportunity to actually play some of them because the season's over. Yet we're still trying to bang our head on the wall with the same dog shit players, man. The same players who just let us down week in, week out, bruv. And at this point, man, what are we doing? What are we doing? Can we end the season? Can we just lose every game 3-0? Just call it a forfeit and don't play. Because next game is against Arsenal, mate. Usually a big game. A game that, even though Arsenal have been pretty shit over the last 10 years, Chelsea have still struggled to beat them in recent history. And now Arsenal having their best season since whenever. I mean, I know they haven't had a good run of form. You know, they haven't won in their last 4, right? Well, they're about to win their next game against us. They already beat us about 4-0, bro. Oh, it's just painful, man. It's just painful. And like, if I even start talking about subs that Frank Lampard makes, bro. If I even start talking about substitutions where man is leaving Kovacic on the pitch and taking off Enzo Fernandez. Like, Enzo Fernandez wasn't having a good game, but he can make something happen, bro. He's one of the best passers I've seen in a long time. He can create something out of nothing. Kovacic can't, bro. Well, Kovacic can't do that, yet somehow he's on the pitch. Kovacic is what Havertz was to Graham Potter is what Kovacic is to Frank Lampard. Man just has to play every minute of every game. I don't understand. I don't understand, man. But yeah, man, that's I don't have anything to say, bro. The club is a shambles, man. We need to sort this out. It's a combination of bad ownership, bad managers, and terrible on the pitch stuff, and bad recruitment from the last 5 years. Let's be honest. The recruitment over the last 5 years has been dismal. Like, you can't name me wins. Like, name me 5 players who've actually been good that we've signed since 2017. It will be interesting if anyone could, because and some of the contracts they've given these men is a disgrace because we can't even sell them. We can't even sell people like Kepa and people like Bakayoko, bro, because we signed them for 40 plus million, Kepa 70 million. They get 200k a week, and no one's gonna pay them that, bro. No one's willing to pay Kepa that, and then also pay a big fee on top of that. Teams like Lazio who wanted him, bro, 20 mil, and they give him like maybe 100k a week if he's lucky. Well, whatever, bro. There's nothing really to say about this club. Shambles. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you all next time.